Rostering sounds easy, but under the SCHADS award, it's not as simple as putting together a timetable and slapping it on the wall for employees to read. There are quite a few rules, such as how rosters are accessed, what happens when rosters are changed, what happens when clients cancel, how to do roster days off, how many hours between shifts you need to consider when rostering, and how higher duties should be managed. These are all things that we see most commonly at PayCat when working with clients in the SCHADS industry. So as part 8 of our SCHADS online course, we'll go through that in plenty of detail so that you can make sure you take that into consideration with your business. Also, make sure you check out our playlist containing the rest of the course. I've left a link in the description box below. And if you work in a business under the SCHADS award and you need to include this as part of your CPD or need a certificate, we have a paid version of the course that will also issue you a certificate when you complete the course. It also includes bonus tools like SCHADS compliance checklists to help you with processing payroll, and we keep the course 100% updated as changes come through with the SCHADS award. I've also left links to access it below. Let's dive in.
So what do you need to know when it comes to rosters? Well, you need to put the staff rosters in a place that full-time and part-time employees can access easily, and they have to be given to them at least 14 days in advance. The SCHADS award allows you to give your staff their rosters in several different ways, such as over the phone, in person, by email, mail, fax, or by any other electronic communication, such as a text message. So there really is no excuse for not giving your employees their rosters. Now, what happens if you need to change the roster? You guessed it, there are a set of rules for this too. An employee's roster can only be changed if you give the employee 7 days notice. If someone is sick or finds themselves in an emergency, or if a change of the roster is needed to allow the organization to continue its business. If a client cancels or changes home care services, notice must be given to the employee by 5 p.m. the day before if no payment is made. If there's no notice given, then the employee will be entitled to receiving payment for the hours rostered on that day. The other alternative is that the employer can direct the employee to make up the cancelled time in the next fortnight in other business areas. When it comes to rostered days off, all employees except casuals must have at least 2 full days off per week, or 4 full days off each fortnight, or 8 full days in each 4-week cycle. These need to be consecutive days off where it's possible. Your staff are also entitled to at least 10 consecutive hours between shifts. If it's a sleepover shift, then that staff member must have at least 8 consecutive hours from when the night shift ends and the new shift starts. If Melanie worked a night shift and only finished working at 5 a.m., then she can't be required to be back at work before 1 p.m. that same day. Now that we've covered rosters, I want to touch on higher duties briefly. Sometimes, circumstances may require you to have one staff member complete the tasks of a higher classified staff member. If that is the case, you have to know that higher duties require higher pay rates. The SCHADS award only refers to how pay rates work when home care staff perform higher duties. For home care employees carrying out work with higher wage rates, they must be paid more. If they worked at 2 hours or less, they need to be paid at a higher rate for the time worked. But if they worked for more than 2 hours, they must be paid at the higher rate for a full day or shift. And if the employee has performed higher duty work for 5 consecutive days or more, they must be paid at the minimum rate based on the classification that they worked. For example, if Jason is a level 5 social and community services employee and gets paid at pay point 3, he earns a minimum weekly wage of $1,957.46. But if he had to perform Peter's duties, who is a level 8 social and community services employee, for 6 days, then he must get paid according to Peter's wage. So for 6 days, Jason is paid at pay point 3 as a level 8 social and community services employee, which means he'll earn $2,495.31. So there you have it, all the roster rules and higher duty regulations so that you can make sure you're compliant under the SCHADS award.